The man you're about to see is the former director of Barack Obama's National Security Council, Stuart Seldowitz. This video was captured by a food cart vendor in New York City.
To my friends in immigration.
Really? Okay, go, yeah.
And to the Egyptian, the Mukhabarat wants your picture.
Okay, yalla, go.
Yeah? You know the Mukhabarat? The Mukhabarat.
No, I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't speak English.
No?
Yeah, go,
The
yalla.
Mukhabarat in Egypt will get your parents.
Go.
Does your
yeah.
father like his fingernails? They'll take them out one by one.
يلا روح منين يلا go.
Why should I go? Why should I go? Tell me why I should go. I'm standing here. I'm an American. I have free. It's a free country. It's not like Egypt. Yeah, smile for me. Did you rape your daughter like Muhammad did? Did you rape your daughter like Muhammad?
I don't speak English.
You only speak English?
No English, no.
You don't speak English?
Yes.
All right. Well, that just shows how ignorant you are.
One vile attack didn't seem to be enough for Seldowitz, who also served as Deputy Director of the US State Department's Office of Israel and Palestinian Affairs from 1999 to 2003. This is what he said on a separate visit to the food cart.
You support terrorism.
Listen, go. I'm not support something.
You do. You support terrorism.
I'm not some. Go.
support
I'm just
killing
working
little
here.
children. You're a terrible person.
You kill children, not me.
What?
Go.
My kids? What about my kids?
You kill children, not me. Go.
I didn't kill children.
Okay, what I see
You
here?
know why? If we killed 4,000 Palestinian kids, you know what? It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough.
Go.
It wasn't enough. 4,000 Palestinian kids. It wasn't enough. After those videos went viral online, the New York Times approached Seldowitz for his side of the story, reporting this. According to Mr. Seldowitz, who said in a phone interview on Tuesday that he had not seen the videos, the episode started after he asked the vendor if he was Egyptian. As the conversation progressed, the man expressed support for Hamas, Mr. Seldowitz said, though no such claims are captured on any of the videos that have been made public. At that point, I got rather upset, and I've said things to him that in retrospect I probably regret, though that I do regret, Mr. Seldowitz said. Instead of focusing in on him and what he said, I expanded into insulting his religion, and so on. Asked if he was Islamophobic, Seldowitz said this. I've worked with Muslims, I have many people who are Muslims and Arab and so on who know me very well and who know I'm not prejudiced against them. Rivka, does it surprise you that a man like this, who would stand in front of a food cart vendor and attack them by saying, do you rape your daughters like Muhammad did, or 4,000 killed kids in Palestine isn't enough, would hold a key role in American government, not just American government, but a government that was branded as liberal at the time, Barack Obama's administration, would hold such a key role relating to the Middle East and Israel and Palestine?
It doesn't surprise me at all. And that's, I think, because, we know that right-wingers are just more honest liberals. It's not that liberals don't think all of the same xenophobic, Islamophobic, American exceptionalist, or in this case, white supremacist kind of stuff. It's just that they don't say it. They just put it into policy. If we think about what Obama did while Stuart Seldowitz was working for him, he deported more people than any other president. He approved more drone strikes in his first year in office than Bush did in his entire administration. He expanded the surveillance of Muslims, through the Countering Violent Extremism Initiative, basically America's answer to prevent. He directly supported the Saudi-led coalition in its bombing campaign against Yemen. It's what's more surprising is that he said it out loud. And I think that's in some ways where we have to be sort of maybe start to rethink our understanding of what racism really is. I think we, even on the left, because of our media environment, have a tendency to think of the most egregious forms of racism as the ones that you can capture on an iPhone and post all over social media. That is racism. It's far harder to quantify the racism of a counterterrorism initiative like the CVE, or the sort of racist ideologies that underpin drone strikes or support for the war in Yemen. And I think that's, what we should be kind of careful of, because Biden is actively currently trying to whitewash his reputation when it comes to that sort of first superficial type of racism. I don't know whether many people in the UK will be aware of this, but, a week or so ago, a couple of weeks ago, the Biden administration announced its first national strategy to counter Islamophobia. Kamala Harris said it was to combat, quote unquote, the surge of hate in America. And so this, I think, is exactly the kind of, whilst on the one hand, someone like Stuart Seldowitz appears to be demonstrating that kind of violent Islamophobic belief, we should really be wary of thinking all we need to do is get rid of this kind of Islamophobic street level abuse. We've already seen Muslim groups in the US saying that these kinds of anti-Islamophobia campaigns are just kind of whitewashing of an administration which fundamentally supports the Israeli endeavor of genocide, which is a fundamentally racist endeavor, and the US supports it because of its notion of what Israel represents as an outpost of European power in the Middle East. And so I think what this episode shows us is that we're very drawn to, in our media environment, episodes, altercations on an individual interpersonal level between racists and victims. But what we have to bear in mind is that ultimately the real damage is not what Stuart Seldowitz, like some idiotic comments that he makes to a poor, street vendor, but the policies that America is approving in Palestine. That is countering Islamophobia on a much more profound level. And so, yeah, I think ultimately we shouldn't be surprised that someone who was, and clearly ideologically still very much is, part of a kind of state apparatus that is fundamentally, Islamophobic isn't the term for it. It's imperial. It's neo-imperial, should be spouting this kind of street level abuse. It helps us to kind of unlock some of the ideological underpinnings of that state apparatus. But really, the state and its policies are what should be the subject of our criticism here, not some, bullshit that a former Obama, official is saying to some street vendor.